Hey, how you doing today? Today's video, we are going to discuss pattern breakouts. All right, so this one here, we're going to be looking at the Aussie dollar on the 1 hour chart. And yeah, here we're just going to try and maximize the amount of pips we can off this trade. And I'm going to show you the strategy that you can use to make that happen. All right, so this one, like I said, it's going to be a pattern breakout. So not really looking for structure, support and resistance breakouts. However, we are going to use this within our analysis. But yeah, we'll play this in replay mode so I can show you how we spot this trade, how we're patient and let it play out, because that's key to this strategy. You have to be patient, wait for the trade to come to you. And then I'm going to show you how we enter the trade, how to manage it as the trade progresses, and then how to set an exit point. All right. So this one here, like I said, is going to be on the Aussie dollar on the 1 hour chart. And this is what we got. All right. So as you can see, we had a move up, move down, move up, and currently a move down. All right. So this example here, clearly in an uptrend at the moment, right? We had a higher high, higher low, higher high. Currently, this move hasn't completed, but we do have at this point a higher low. All right. So now we have our overall bias is going to be a long position off this trade. All right. So we'll zoom in a little bit. Now, what do we have going on? Well, we have a little trend here. All right. And then we have a trend here. Okay. So within this little pattern, we have a move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, and a slight move down. So based on this, as you can see, we do have a lower low, lower high, lower low, and a lower high. So a lot of beginner traders, they might actually be trying to short this right now if they didn't see the bigger picture and then wait for a breakout of this actual pattern, because right now it's kind of just consolidating, right? Nothing really is happening. There's no big, huge moves happening yet. I mean, well, I'm not going to say this isn't a huge move, but it's still within a pattern. All right. So we're going to wait for this to actually play out. So let's move this up a few candles and see what happens. All right. So we just got rejected there. As you can see, we have a nice shooting star candle at our trend line. So do we enter short here? Based on the strategy, we don't. We wait. I mean, if you want to take a small position off this, that by all means, that's up to you. But this strategy here, we're going to set this on our watch list. We're going to wait for an actual breakout of this pattern. We're not trying to do any range trading. We are strictly looking for breakouts. All right, so that's very important when you're trading this strategy. All right, so let's move this a little bit farther. Okay, so we had a breakout. We are not going to enter yet. I know you're saying, well, you were waiting for a breakout. We are going to wait for a retest. All right. So what that's going to be, we are going to wait and see if this comes back and retests our trend line, retests the breakout of our pattern. A lot of people do enter as soon as it breaks out. However, there are a lot of false signals when trading. So this could easily break out and then just dump. And then you get stopped out. All right. So that's what we're going to try to avoid. We're going to wait to see if this retests our zone. All right. So I'm going to throw up a structure level here at our previous zone right here. As you can see, we had a test here, test here, test here. And if we wanted to be more specific, we can actually, that's not what I wanted. All right, so this is going to be our zone right here. So as you can see, we had some play here, some tests here, a bunch of tests in here, a test of resistance here, resistance support. So once it did break through, this is now going to be support, right? So we are going to wait for this to retest our structure level and our pattern. All right, so now we're going to have two confirmations once it hits that zone, if it rejects it. All right, so let this play out a little bit farther. All right, I just want to note quickly, if you did take this trade, let's say you took it off this candle, you would have got roughly 40, 50 pips off that trade. It's decent. But we are looking for larger trades off these patterns right here. All right. So just be patient. Let the trade come to you. Maximize your probability of being right on the trade and maximize the amount of pips you get too. All right. So let this play out. And all right. So I'm just going to take this over. As you can see, testing our structure level, testing our pattern. So now do we enter? Not quite. All right. So now, what do we have? We have our pattern, we have our breakout, we have our retest. Now, what we want to do, we want to wait for this to break out. If we get a rejection off this level here and a breakout from here, now we got our signal to enter. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, not quite. There we go. Now we got our signal to enter. And you're going to want to wait for this to actually close to give you confirmation, right? Because if I entered as soon as it broke out, and let's say last 5 minutes of this hourly candle gets rejected and closes like this one here, I just got a major false signal. This will probably shoot down, give us a fake move out of our pattern and move down, right? So we're going to want to wait for this candle to close. Now that it actually did, we're going to set our position right here. First thing we're going to want to look at is our stop loss. Where do we want to place our stop loss? Well, we're going to want it to be below this level somewhere. So that's going to be roughly 40 pips. These are pipettes. So there's 400 of them, but 40 pips, right? Ooh. All right. So we got a 40 pip stop loss, and we're going to target this level up here, our previous highs. All right. So that brings us into the 70 pip target range. All right. So now we have a 1.75 to 1 reward to risk. All right. So we got 40 pip stop loss, a 75 pip target. Okay. So now we have our full position, whatever lot size that is, whether it's micro lot, mini lot, whatever it is to you, based on the amount of money you're trading with. We are going to enter this trade and let it play out. All right. Boom. Take profit, smashed. All right. So now, what do we do? Well, based on the fact that it broke out of this pattern and the fact that we've been making higher highs, the likelihood of this continuing is actually pretty high. All right. Because as you can see, this one here, when it broke out, right, it did make a new high. All right. So what we're going to do, we're not going to close the position completely. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to reduce our position here. Okay. So let's say you got one full lot. We're going to cut that in half, take half our profit on this trade. We're going to move our stop loss. All right. We're going to set a trailing stop. And I like to be a little bit conservative on this. Set maybe a 50 pip stop loss, right? We just took 70 pips. We're up 70 pips. So even if it does come back right now, we closed out half a lot with 70 pips. And if it moves down 50 pips, we still have 20 pips on that remaining half a lot, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to set a 50 pip stop loss and let this play out even farther. Okay. So let's see what happens. And there it goes. All right. Just retested our previous highs, right? It's failing to break back below. So we know, well, I mean, the likelihood of this continuing is pretty good. We are in a good spot right now. Okay. Boom. Just broke out. All right. So let's just take this just so we know. This is going to be our 50 pip stop loss. So I'm going to need to, let's go 65 to 65.5. All right. So now we got our 50 pip stop loss. So as you can see, it wouldn't have stopped us out here. It wouldn't have stopped us out here. Okay. So let this go a little bit farther. This thing don't want to end. Boom. All right. This might have stopped us out. Let's see. Grab that high. Reduce that again to our 50 pips. And yeah, we would have been stopped out right there. All right. However, that's okay. Look how much extra we got off this trade. If we would have got out here, we would have only taken 70 pips off this trade. Yeah, we reduce our position. However, this was a riskless trade. completely riskless after we hit this zone, right? After we reduced our position, we had zero risk on this trade. And we just let it play out, let it do its thing. We didn't even have to monitor it because we had a trailing stop loss. All right. So the only thing we had to do to manage this trade was reduce our position here. It's the only thing. Set our stop loss, our trailing stop to 50 pips and let it go. Let it do its thing. So now let's see how many pips we actually got on this trade. So we took 70 pips at a full lot, let's just say. And then let's just round this up to make a nice even number. On the remainder of the position, let's say it was half a lot, we took another 70, I guess that'd be 80 pips. All right. So we took another 80 pips on half a lot. In total, 150 pips on this trade. And we only had a 40 pip stop loss. All right, so now you see the value in waiting and being patient for a proper signal. We waited, we were patient, right? We could have entered here. We could have taken our profit here and took 40 pips, 30 pips, whatever it was. But we took 150 pips on this trade. That's huge. All right. So yeah, you see the value of waiting for a proper entry point and having a proper strategy in place rather than just taking it on the breakout. We added things to this position, right? We added structure level. We had our breakout and retest. It's very important. And then we waited for another break of that small retrace back. All right. And then we entered. We managed our position as it went. We exited at a certain point, reduced the position, and then let it ride. All right. So there's a few things in this strategy that give you a higher probability of being right on the trade and reducing the amount of risk that you do take on that trade as well. All right. So yeah, that's the benefit of having a actual strategy in place. All right. So if you want to use this in your trading, by all means, take this example, back test it. Don't take my word for it. Try it out on demo. Try it out on a replay mode, just like we did. See how many times it works for you. Yeah, so hopefully this gives you a better understanding of why you need to be patient with the market and let it come to you, right? Let the trade play out. Don't need to be in a trade all the time. However, there are a lot of different pairs you can trade, right? Like those are all pairs that you could look at. And I can almost guarantee you that one of these are going to have a pattern that you can enter, whether it be on a 5-minute time frame, a 15-minute time frame, a 1-hour time frame. The important part is that you wait for a proper entry point. Don't enter too early, right? If we would have entered here, we would have set our stop loss somewhere around here. It's possible we got stopped out, right? We could have had a losing trade here, but we didn't. We took 150 pips on this trade, whereas half of it was riskless. I mean, you can't ask for more from the market. This was a beautiful, beautiful trade. All right. Back test it, see if it works for you. If it does, add it to your trading plan. This is just one strategy that you can use. All right. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, share it with some friends that possibly trade. Hopefully this can help them as well. And yeah, if you need clarification on anything we discussed today, don't be afraid to leave me a comment below. I will get back to you as soon as I can and clear up anything that maybe was a little confusing to you. Something, if there's a scenario that maybe could have played out here and you want to know what you would do in that situation, don't be afraid to ask. I will get back to you right away. Don't worry, it won't be long. I will respond very quickly. And yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for notifications of new videos coming out. I will be throwing out a lot more content like this. We will look at things like fundamental analysis, more technical analysis, trading psychology, even some basic finance things in your life that can hopefully benefit you. And yeah, other than that, have yourself a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.